We're live on YouTube. All right. We do appear to be... We have achieved multi-streaming. Look at us. So fancy. Alrighty then. So. For the first time today, we are streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. I'm hoping that this will be the beginning of a beautiful thing. Streaming to two places at once. I can be ignored twice as fast. Just kidding. There we go. All set up. I have so much information going on right now. Anyway, point is, let's get some music going. It's too quiet in here. Too quiet. I do have a dilemma. I cannot figure out the next art project I'm going to work on. I just finished up the first one I was working on. There we are. Yeah, I just finished up the first one I was working on. And, well, I gotta choose the next one. I'm not sure what I want to do. Honestly, I'm not sure. I didn't think this far ahead. So honestly, what I might do is I might spend the first part of the stream just coming up with ideas. Wait, actually, no, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I've just figured it out. It's become clear to me now. Like a lightning bolt striking my intellect. It's not actually that deep, but you know what I mean. I've been playing on the gaming stream. I've been playing a lot of Disco Elysium. Doing some quick stream modification. There we go. Little bit of stream setup. Still getting used to this whole streaming thing, you know? Yeah, let's get started. I'll set up real quick and then we'll go fully live here. We'll have all the fancy stuff on screen. All the fanciest things. For transfer. No. Place, where are we going? Yeah, folder sorting live, folks. Nothing better. Here we go. All right. So, for people watching the Twitch VOD, you have not seen anything that I've worked on before. So, bam. Here's some Lethal Company stickers I was working on. I have to export and post these to Redbubble. That will happen eventually. But for now, here we are. Look at us. Just chilling, just hanging about. Just doing things, stuff even. But yeah, no. You're blank. It makes a lot of sense to just keep using this project file for Redbubble stickers. Because, like, you know, the data's the same. And I won't get any kind of latency or issues with Photoshop until I have a lot of layers. There's the other stickers I did. Look at them. So we got 4. Properly label these to start off. Here we go. So, you can't even see it because my guy's over it, but no, I got these named. Put them all in one folder. Call that Ya Boy Lethal Co. Panty. We've done it. All right. So, checking something, and we're good. So, the next one. The next sticker, the next set of stickers I want to do. I was thinking, what do I want to do? I didn't really have a plan, but then I realized. So probably my favorite game that I've been streaming has been Disco Elysium. In what better way to commemorate playing Disco Elysium than to do some Disco Elysium stickers. Train's blowing its horn. I don't know if you can hear that. Just realized I have the desktop audio off. I'm still getting used to this whole streaming thing. That's the music I've been playing this whole time. Alright. Yeah, thank God my mic's coming. That would be really embarrassing. So, this is what we want to do. The only problem with this is that I have to limit myself to basics for the design of what these stickers are going to be, because I have not played the whole game yet, and so it would be disingenuous for me to base it on later character designs. But I want to do this. I want to do this. damn it. Making... Second guessing myself in real time. You know what I really want to do? What would be actually... This would be a lot better. This one. HT2. This is also what I've been playing on stream. And the difference with Disco is that I am as caught up on Helldivers 2 content as anyone else because I've been playing since like only like a few, maybe like a week or two after launch, and I've been playing like continuously. This has been my like go-to comfort food video game for the past couple of months. So yeah, this would be the thing to make stuff out of. This would be the thing to make some stickers out of. Now, there's so many options. I think I know what I'm going to do, though. See this guy? This is a personal favorite of mine. Look at him. He's now very chunky. Now he's regular. There. Still chunky. Let's see here. I'm just gonna pick some random armors and just do some of those. Probably. Sworn there's one called... It is Battlemaster, okay. This is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of. Here he is, ya boy. The executioner's better half. The marksman's better half, I should say. No hate on the marksman, just, you know. The Battlemaster is just that, but better. We don't quite have the legs in this picture. Let's get a slightly better reference photograph. Here we go. Nope. Let's do a combination here. Alright, then there were two. Man, these are just ideas. Let's get serious. I know what we gotta do. This armor, I don't know if I'm going to do art of this one. When it wants to load onto the thing. Hello, come here. There you go. Okay, see him? This was popular in the early days, but I couldn't tell you how many people are playing it now. I've definitely seen this a lot less as time has gone on. Seems like uh seems like people have sort of gravitated away from it in terms of wearing it on missions. This was the premium armor, right? You know, this is what you got when you got the premium version of the game. And here's the one I really want to do. I should just be using the wiki for references. That's gonna have the best photos. Most consistent, anyway. That's not good. Alright, we've encountered the problem with this multi-streaming. Let's see here. How are my processes doing? How's my performance doing? Okay, not too bad. Why are scratch discs full then? I've just encountered a problem on Photoshop. You will not be able to see it. Scratch discs are full. My computer is not having too tough of a time right now. I'm seeing... Yeah, the load on my GPU is not too bad. Although, I definitely am going to have to... I'm going to see how it goes with... game streaming. But... right now, we're not having the toughest time. There are some modifications we gotta make, though. There are some additional things we gotta do. Oh, boy. Man's work is never done. Something, something. I'm doing all this managing stuff. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Needed to wait a little while. The scratch discs figure themselves out. Oh, never mind. There it goes. All right. That was problematic. Let's see where we were. This scratch disk issue is going to be an issue. Do I want to do tech support live on stream? Not really. Not really. That's not a good idea. That's not going to be entertaining. All right. We have made an achievement in this regard. We have figured out what we're going to do next. It's enough for one. It's enough for one day, especially with you know, the challenges we're encountering. So we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna switch gears. We're going to do this instead. Oh boy. All right, we'll leave Photoshop for another time when things are a little bit calmed down. All right. You're done blinking now. That's good. So this is Raycasting Game Maker. Very, very simple game creation tool. We've been making something in it. So I've been kind of working on this non-linearly. And what I think is... yeah, I'm going to work on the layout of the next level, I think. Or no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do an enemies test. So the thing I want to do in this game is... the game has built-in enemies. Excuse me. These things use... we're talking about Wolfenstein 3D levels here. This is not going to be a... this is not going to be a good game. But, like, I'm using it to sort of, like, work on workflow stuff. I'm using it to sort of, basically just practice and get better at, things like level design, things like, you know, working with settings and things like that. And so, what I'm doing here is testing out. I pretty much want to use one type of enemy, but what I want to do is I want to get it right. And the settings here are very basic, so I've got to like really explore them to make sure that I'm doing the right things. And this is all based on Kane Pixel's Backroom series. And in his series, he really only has one type of monster, which I like about it. Doesn't overstuff the content with things, you know? It has, here's what we do well, therefore, that's what we're doing. You know, that's all we're doing. So, the result of that is trying to do the same thing, just one enemy. But I want it to be fast, I want it to be really a nuisance, a scary nuisance, a oh my god, I gotta get out of here nuisance. With the idea of making certain paths riskier as a result of their presence. Alright, here's what I got so far. And if you look at the ceiling, you can see this one meme that I made, and it makes no sense, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of it. It's gonna stay in. This is final. It's staying in the finished game. All right. All right. Let's go get spooked. So this is the hallway where they are, and you can see they're here. They're in front of me. But yeah, that's how short the render distance is, or whatever the frick you would call it. I don't know. All right. Okay. This is a positive sign. Positive sign. Positive sign. Positive sign. Oh, is he dancing? Yeah, you see that? How he's, like, dancing end-to-end in the corridor? That's what I wanted to avoid. But if he's... oh, Jesus. If he's doing it, I don't think it's avoidable. Yeah, that's just how it is. Okay, fuck off. He's at maximum speed. And I think that's the way to go here. Oh, Jesus. That's the way to go here because it's actually challenging. Although it might be too challenging. I will admit that I did let him succeed a little bit. Because I was like trying to bait him around the corner. The way that the AI works is that yeah, the way that the AI works is that excuse me. It's yeah, it's entirely based on whether it sees you or not. And it's just coming right at you if it sees you and getting to a predetermined point. If it can shoot, it's getting right on you. If it can't shoot, it's getting right on you. If it can shoot, if it can shoot, it's getting just a little bit in front of you and firing. Although it's firing from far off, so excuse me. Yeah, there's my internet connections popping in and out here. There are a lot of like quality of life streams about that. Like for instance, there's stuff that I have to set up. Like this is screaming at me to set up low latency mode. So, okay, you're on. Excuse me. So many things I have to set up. The bright side to streaming, and the fact that nobody friggin' watches your streams for the first little while, is that it gives you time to test things out. I have been just, man, this has not been the most productive day for me. But no, I have confirmed one thing. One, I think I need to install my old graphics card on my computer and then make that my dedicated streaming card come what may, because it's a much smaller graphics card, but I am 99.9% sure that I have a slot for it. And I also need to put infinite fans on my computer. Anyway. Yeah. Point is, that's the way it goes, folks. Sometimes you don't get much done. Yeah, but for this project, what we just figured out, I had set up this guy in the middle as enemy number 1. Let's eliminate the other two. We don't need them. This is going to be my backrooms monster. Kane Pixels has those mold monsters. I think I'm just going to copy that. I'm not going to be selling this for money, obviously. This might go up on itch.io just to post it somewhere. That is a serious thing, and nobody's going to play this. But, yeah, this guy is my mold monster. And he's going to be, just like chasing you, gotta get you. So he's sorry, I'm thinking. His one problem is that when you set an enemy to melee mode, it does that. You saw it. This like dance sways back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the reason for that is that he's serpentining, because this is supposed to be an FPS. And if you've got a gun and a guy's coming at you with a knife, he's gonna like do a fancy dance to dodge you, or at least that's what they do in 80s action movies, which all of these old games are based off of. So Yeah. I'm sorry, I was thinking to myself. I've had some ideas about the next couple of levels. I've had an idea about this level. You see this grid area here? This was originally based on, again, this is just stolen straight from Game Pixels, but because it's theft and because I actually don't like it for this project, I like it for what he did, but I'm thinking about it more and I'm realizing that this does not suit me. But I'm thinking about what I want to do for the other levels. And I realize I actually have a little bit of a story to tell here. Emergent through the, yeah, this is actually going to be a lot better for game design. Just from that perspective. Because, yeah, you can see how the gameplay is divided between these wider corridors and these narrower corridors. Those are our two main components. We also have the occasional big lobby area. We've got this down here, which I don't know what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put some kind of prop. You can see this couch prop that I put in. That's just a placeholder in some places. I'm going to have couches in some places. But other places I want to do things like, desks and stuff like that. Chairs. Things that kind of suggest that this space is mimicking something that you would encounter in the real world. But of course, it's the back rooms, to me, that's one of the strengths of the back rooms. It appears to be something that mimics a built human space, but it doesn't quite get it right. It doesn't quite understand why these components exist in the way they do. It doesn't. It's not human. You see, you know. um, So it's replicating, it's putting in chairs. It doesn't understand what a chair's function is. It's putting in desks. It does not understand what a desk's function is. It's laying out hallways. It doesn't understand what a hallway is. But it's mimicking, it's laying them out. And sometimes getting it right, sometimes not. Okay. This is good. Because what we need to do here in the first level is establish some basics of behavior. The player is going to figure out what to expect in the opening minutes of the game. And I want to avoid two things. I want to avoid them not going down the small corridors and only going down the big ones. And I want to avoid them thinking that a short, immediate dead end is the only thing they're going to encounter. Both of those things are going to be deleterious to them actually completing the game in a way. They're just going to get frustrated rather than have a good time and explore. I'm getting rid of this area. This was another thing I set up right away and was like, oh, I'm going to do something like this. And it's just like, it serves no purpose and nothing else in the game is like that, so it's just going to be confusing. I'm killing my darlings. That's what you're supposed to do with creation. Yes, we have this little odd cat, or that's what it is. So this is good. I have dead ends of varying length here. You saw I changed the section that this is attached to, this little spiral. Before it was here, now it's here. What I want to avoid is if I had this spiral as part of this area, then I would have a situation. I really hope that my... Okay, it's showing up. It's capturing. You can see my cursor. Maybe not very well. I would have 1, 2, 3 sections that are basically the same size, basically the same length. You would realize that they were complete dead end in basically the same amount of time. And the problem with that is that my fear is that the player would go down 1, go down 2, and be like, oh, okay, so I'm going to encounter dead ends subconsciously. They would say, I'm going to encounter dead ends at a consistent rate. So if I don't hit a dead end in that time, then I know I'm going the right way, and that's not the case. There are sections down here that are like longer and they're dead ends. You know, like this spiral, for instance. This entire section. This entire section. I don't even remember how to get through here. Oh yeah, through here you gotta go through this labyrinth. This is supposed to be like spirals or something I'm doing just because I think they're cool. Yes, I have read Uzumaki. Yeah, so I think that this is going to be a little... I am hoping that this experience is going to be a little trippy. Alright, let's do something. So you can't see the pop-up windows, but I'm going to set his speed to 10, enemy 1, and I think that's going to be the golden rule. Right, so I've set the mold monster enemy to be pretty fast, pretty deadly, and basically indestructible. Because what I want to avoid is a situation where, yeah, I want to keep the player from thinking that he can fight this guy. And of course, you can do damage to enemies in this game, but I don't think there's a way to make them invulnerable. It's very basic. It's very basic. It's really only good for one thing. I am not really doing anything special, but I'm already stretching it to its limits. We're going to change what I'm using this door for, because what I'm going to do with this door. I was usually going to do something spooky with it, but I have a better idea. I had an idea a while ago for a little narrative inside the back rooms that goes a little bit differently than what you typically see with just like, oh my god, I'm lost in the back rooms and there's a monster. Ah! That's our first level. Second level, we got to get a little bit second level, we got to get a little bit fancy with it. The one thing that you're able to do with storytelling in this game is cutscenes between levels. You're able to do cutscenes between levels, which is going to be like, pixel art with, you can pixel art in anything you want. And so the question becomes, what can we do with that module? What kind of story we can tell? And I actually have an idea for something. I had an idea a little while ago. So we have, in general Backrooms lore, we have the SCP-like Foundation entity that is exploring the Backrooms. They established a stable link and they're exploring it. Kane Pixels, of course, started this with Async, but then a bunch of other creators who make Backrooms content, and Backrooms content has become a whole genre. They've kind of come in and just made that into a trope. They have they just rip him off, or they have their own organization. So it's a trope of the like the backrooms genre. But I had an idea. What if there was somebody who got access to a stable portal into the backrooms, who was not interested in exploration? They were interested in exploiting it. They were interested in, like, hey, dude, there's copper in these walls. There's copper wires. This is replicating materials and technology found in the real world. Materials and technology that are valuable. We can exploit this. We can, like, strip out... If there's wood in the walls, we can strip that and sell it to recycling plants. I don't know if you can recycle drywall. Hold on. Research live on stream. We're doing creative research here, folks. Recycle drywall. Excuse me. Recycling drywall. What to do with leftover drywall? Drywall. Okay, we're learning from FamilyHandyman.com here. Drywall is essentially gypsum, calcium sulfite, with water spread on paper backing and kiln fired in 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. Calcium sulfite is a natural mineral with beneficial properties to your lawn and or garden soil. It's also reclaimable. A portion of the drywall sheets you buy in your home center is likely delivered from recycled drywall. Okay, so... Yo! Fucking calcium sulfate mine, let's go. Like, yeah, no, like, of course the walls in the back rooms are gonna be made of drywall, because, like, that's what fucking... Yeah, that's what fucking office walls are made out of. The active theory that I go for with, like, what are the backrooms is that they are, especially like Kane Pixel's backrooms, where it's really evident that everything living in the backrooms comes from our world. Like, the mold monsters in Kane Pixel's backrooms are brought in from the outside world. That's the impression that I get. They are like mold in the backrooms, like microorganisms that have mutated over possibly millennia to live in a environment where there is nothing else living, where they are alone in infinite emptiness, alone in infinite emptiness. And so their response to that as microorganisms is to evolve to be this wandering creature. Doesn't make sense in the real world at all. What they would actually do is kind of like hunker down and evolve like multi-millennia long hibernation cycles, kind of similar to the deep biosphere on Earth. But monsters are cool, so that's what we do for fiction. I just, like, glossed over that. If you don't know, there are microbes tens of miles beneath the surface of the Earth, far deeper than anything humans have ever built. Like, literally, excuse me. I was having a cough and also trying to pronounce something in Russian. It's a common problem. Deep borehole. Yeah, the Kola super deep borehole. That's the deepest that a human being has ever dug by the Soviets, because of course they did. Let's see here. Attained a maximum vertical depth of 12,000 meters or 40,000 feet below the Earth. And yeah, no, they took up rock samples from down at some of the depths they were going to. I don't know if they got this from like all the way down at 12,000, but on the way. Yeah, they found fossilized microbes and hibernated microbes and examples of microbes, because there are microbes, literally trillions of little bastards, living down there in cracks between the rocks, and they're feeding on just minerals that are lying around, and they can hibernate for hundreds of thousands of years if there's no food available to them, and they're preyed upon by nematodes. And yeah, no, that's probably what a backrooms organism would do. It would evolve like that, you know, to live off of basically like a scavenger. Another example is Whale Falls. Dude, actually, no, I'm thinking about it. Excuse me. Yeah, I might rethink the creature design I was going to do, because basically, yeah, that's how organisms in the backrooms would actually evolve. They would base themselves on a whale fall model of feeding. Because here's the thing, I'm again working from the premise the backroom has no native organic life, which in my opinion is consistent with the world that Kane Pixels um, established, and also my personal theory about what the backrooms is, or the personal theory that I work from when I want to create stuff in it. And yeah, no, that's what they would do. Whale falls in this in like the bottom of the ocean floor. There's no light down there. There's very little life down there. There is life down there, but it's a desert basically. It's a cold desert underwater, cold underwater desert. And the way that a lot of organisms live is they live off scraps most of the time, but occasionally when a whale dies and its body decays to the point where it no longer floats and it falls down to the bottom of the ocean, what happens is that it's swarmed by creatures that come from miles and miles around. They smell a drop of blood and they're able to follow that for like halfway across the ocean, and they gorge themselves on the carcass of this whale. And yeah, no, that's how they make their living. That would be, yeah, no, if organisms adapted to live in the backrooms, that's how they would feed. That's how they would exist. And it's entirely possible that that's how, yeah, no, that's how they would do it. You're talking about microorganisms. You're talking about mold spores and stuff like that. That what they do is they hunker down and hibernate for millennia at a time, possibly, or thousands of years. And then the minute that anything shows up anywhere near them and spreads its little scent particles around, they're able to follow it for tens of miles, hundreds of miles, dozens of miles. And they encounter, they find the organism and they just gorge themselves on it, and then they go back to hibernating. That is the life cycle that they would have. In Kane's backrooms, they're more like ambush predators. They're lying in wait, and they even have a behavior that draws in prey. They are, what are they doing? They're excuse me, lost my train of thought. Yeah, they draw in people with sounds, human-like sounds. By the time you get close enough to them to realize that they're not human, you're close enough that they can like spring out and get the jump on you. I think this is an accidental adaptation as well, because from Kane Pixels content, I haven't gotten this literal sense, but it's heavily implied that the mold monsters are survivors that have lived in the backrooms long enough that their own mold has taken over them and they've twisted and mutated into this thing. And the result of that is that what's the result of that? I'm trying to think here. Yeah, the result of that is that these mold monsters are naturally hanging around places that have signs of human habitation, because they were the setup of somebody. They were somebody's setup, and somebody's camp that they were trying to survive out of. And as a result of that, there are signs of human habitation. So any other survivors that are come by are going to go like, "Oh, signs of human life," and they're going to go towards that. What happens? Bada bing, bada boom, mold monster. Woo! Mold monster gets some new food. Sort of an accidental adaptation, but that's how adaptation works a lot of the time. Organisms work with what they have. Man, this really gets into the philosophy of like how like the origin of a lot of monsters. They're based off our social fears, but so many of them are just based off of the behavior of predators, lurking in the dark, lying in wait, stalking, chasing, screaming, all those kinds of things. You know, predators do that. Um, yeah, some of the most effective monsters are just predators. Like Alien is just an animal. The Xenomorph is just an animal. Um, but no, all of this is to say, to circle back around, I think that I might use that idea to come up with my own idea of the mold monster. A thing that lies in wait for hundreds of thousands of years and then attacks to gorge on the living. You do have the suspension of disbelief that in this actual situation it would be a microorganism, but you know you want to make it macroorganism for these purposes. And I do have a hard out, so I will have to leave you all of you no viewers. I'm a little bit disappointed because like I knew that this time slot wasn't really good to stream. I am streaming at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm only doing it for an hour, so I'm not really going to get people for these early morning art streams, but that's okay. The VODs are getting a little bit of attention, and it's just keeping my channel on YouTube active for other content I make, and I feel like, especially when I do weekly game streams on Twitch and YouTube, that's actually going to pull in some people, and I'll get some subscribers out of that. Cynical ploy, but I do enjoy doing this. And so, all this is to say something. That, yeah, no, I was hoping to get a few more viewers for this time slot on Twitch chat, but it really seems like I'm really streaming into the void here. I don't know, it's literally my first stream on Twitch, so, like, who gives one? But anyway, yeah, as I look over this slightly modified maze I've made, I've come up with some plans, some designs, which I will be executing later on. And I will be going back to doing the stickers. Like, I do have an idea for the stickers, but I'm going to have to look at that scratch discs issue with Photoshop. I'm going to have to, because what I'm worried about is that it's caused by the multi-stream. So yeah, I'm going to have to do things and stuff. But yeah, I gotta go make breakfast and then go to work. So goodbye. Hard out. Let me do the end card. I gotta do the end card. I'm legally obligated to do the end card. The end card. Yes. There we go. Transition into being offline. Yeah. Man, the YouTube latency is higher than the Twitch latency. Anyway.